We tend to assume that the group with the most capital, the smartest engineers, and a perfectly mapped business plan will automatically win. Yet history is full of well-funded corporate giants getting completely outmaneuvered by scrappy startups. It turns out the most effective and influential leaders operate in a way that directly contradicts standard business school doctrine. In 2009, Simon Sinek attempted to decode this pattern in his book, Start With Why. To understand the actual science of inspiration, we are going to extract 5 practical takeaways from his research. Takeaway 1. When it comes to influencing human behavior, you really only have 2 options. You can manipulate people, or you can inspire them. For decades, American automakers relied on a brute force manipulation. At the end of the assembly line, workers literally used rubber mallets to bang the car doors until they squeezed into their frames. Japanese automakers took a different path. They engineered the doors to exact specifications during the initial blueprint phase, so they clicked perfectly into place on the factory floor without any force. Manipulations like steep price drops, fear tactics, or literal mallets might force a short-term result, but they are incredibly expensive to maintain. Building a product or a culture correctly from the inside out is the only reliable way to earn actual, permanent loyalty. This brings us to takeaway 2, the golden circle. Looking at this diagram, you see 3 concentric rings labeled what, how, and why. Most organizations communicate from the outside in. They start with what they make, the features, the technical specs, the tangible products. Apple operates in reverse. They communicate from the inside out, starting with their why, a belief in challenging the status quo. The computers and phones are just the tangible proof of that belief. People do not buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Takeaway 3 proves this isn't the abstract marketing theory. In this comparison, the golden circle maps directly to the human brain. The outer what ring corresponds to the neocortex, responsible for rational thought. The inner why circle aligns with the limbic brain, controlling feelings, trust, and ultimate decision-making. In the early 1900s, Samuel Pierpont Langley had a $50,000 government grant and a dream team of Harvard minds to build the first airplane. But his motivation was rooted purely in the neocortex. He wanted wealth and fame. Wilbur and Orville Wright had zero government funding and no college degrees. They simply held a profound limbic-level belief that manned flight would connect the world. When a team operates with a shared why, their biology drives them to endure immense struggle. That intrinsic motivation is exactly how an underfunded bicycle shop beats a Harvard-backed titan. However, pure inspiration has a speed limit. Takeaway 4 tells us that every abstract visionary requires a concrete builder. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the absolute visionary of the civil rights movement. He articulated a perfect why that rallied hundreds of thousands of people, but his message required practical application. Ralph Abernathy served as the essential builder, the man who knew how to execute the vision by organizing the logistics, the boycotts, and the actual physical marches. A profound belief remains a dream until a visionary's inspiration is tethered to a builder's practical action. That partnership scales a localized idea into a massive social movement. To keep that movement on track, we use takeaway 5, the celery test. Imagine you are at a supermarket, and various experts tell you to buy M&Ms, Oreos, celery, and rice milk. If you blindly follow all their advice, you end up with a chaotic, conflicting grocery basket. But if your why is a strict belief in maintaining a healthy body, that belief acts as an absolute filter. You immediately ignore the candy and only place the celery and rice milk in your basket. When you run every corporate or personal choice through a clear why, your actions become perfectly disciplined. Anyone watching you will look at what you do and immediately understand what you believe. Let's run a final audit. To lead effectively, you have to drop the short-term manipulations and communicate from the inside out. Your message must bypass the rational neocortex to speak directly to the limbic brain, and that visionary message must be anchored by a partner who knows exactly how to build it. Finally, you have to run every single decision through the celery test to ensure absolute authenticity. Look at your own career, your own company, or your personal goals. Are you acting on a clear, driving purpose, or are you just standing at the end of an assembly line, swinging a rubber mallet at a door that doesn't quite fit? Let us know what your personal why is down in the comments, and tell us which book we should break down next. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more.